Hi, I'm Apoorva, and in this short video, I'll be presenting our latest working paper titled Can Creating Misinformation Enable Its Discernment? This study was conducted in collaboration with my colleagues Dr. Hansika Kapoor, Ms. Sara Rizai, and Dr. Anirudh Tagat. We wanted to test a counterintuitive idea. If people are asked to create fake news, could that make them better at spotting it later? Misinformation continues to challenge public discourse, especially online. Traditionally, efforts to tackle it have focused on media literacy and fact-checking. But our research asked, can the same creative faculties that contribute to the generation of disinformation be harnessed to combat it? Building on previous intervention studies, we investigated the role of creating misleading headlines as an inoculation strategy to improve subsequent truth discernment in an online mixed pre-registered design. We recruited 646 participants from India and randomly assigned them to one of these three groups. First was the misinformation group, which included active generation of misleading headlines based on common tactics used in fake news. Participants learned about 6 common fake news tactics and then created their own misleading headlines using those tactics. Second was the debate group, which included passive reading of these tactics. They read about the tactics but didn't create anything. In the third group was the control group, which included no intervention. All participants were shown a mix of true and false headlines before and after the intervention. They rated each on reliability, which means how believable the headline seemed. Second was the sharing intention, which means how likely they would forward it. And third was the confidence, which means how sure they felt in their judgment. In the misinformation group, we also rated the creativity, misleading quality, and tone of the fake headlines they generated. So, the key takeaway? Participants who created misinformation and those who merely read about it were less likely to share headlines overall, whether true or false, after the intervention. This suggests a general reduction in sharing behavior rather than improved discernment between true and false information. More specifically, the misinformation groups, those who generated fake headlines, showed the largest drop in the sharing intention, followed by debate group. However, reliability ratings and confidence levels in the headline judgments remained largely unchanged across groups. Among those who created misinformation, participants who wrote more misleading, more creatively written, and less neutral headlines were less likely to share content afterwards. In fact, traits like narcissism, psychopathy, and right-leaning ideology were stronger predictors of whether someone would believe or share misinformation more than the intervention itself, implying these traits were stronger predictors of susceptibility to misinformation than the intervention itself. Overall, our findings highlight that developing misinformation can be an effective strategy to combat its spread with certain caveats. Study is among the first to connect creative thinking with misinformation resistance. It shows that asking people to create misinformation in a safe, controlled setting can lead to more critical evaluation, even if it's just temporary. And in a world where misinformation is listed among the top global risks, even small changes in how people evaluate content can have far-reaching effects. That said, our findings also point to deeper, more stable traits like political ideology and personality that influence whether people believe or spread falsehoods. So the way forward? This study opens up multiple future directions. First, we need to explore the long-term impact of these interventions. Do the effects fade quickly or can they be strengthened over time? Second, combining active and passive methods could help design more robust solutions. Third, delivering such interventions offline, especially in communities that are vulnerable to misinformation, will be essential. Thanks for watching. You can access the full paper and supplementary materials using the links in the description. If you are interested in creativity, misinformation, or digital resilience, subscribe to Prayogshala for more research explained in minutes.